It's time for our favourite segment.
That's the sound of the police.
You better start talking.
Jason Lawrence.
Answer me!
Probe the PoPo.
Tell me what you know.
Yes, Probe the PoPo. We are big fans of the Victorian Police.
And we got the cutest police officer that we've ever seen.
Oh, thanks for that.
Can't stop touching it. Can't stop playing with
Please
it.
don't touch him. His name is Senior Sergeant Mark Boyson. Morning,
Hello,
Mark.
How you going, guys?
We
Mark,
are excellent.
Also very handsome.
Oh, yeah,
but,
sure.
Mark has brought with him Riggs,
Riggs.
the puppy
Two
police
Riggs.
dog.
Is it
Yes.
true?
12-week-old German Shepherd.
Has Riggs been named after Lethal Weapon? Riggs and Murtaugh?
Yeah, that's true. He's
Yes.
We give the handlers an opportunity to come up with some names, and we sort of vet them and see how we go. And yeah, that one passed the muster.
Riggs
cool.
just peed in the studio, guys.
We're not
We
sure
got a
if that's
situation.
It could be Clint.
Could be me. So Riggs is in. When does he start training? He's 12 weeks.
Well, he started now, effectively, but it's more with his age. It's more about the environmental training and making sure he stands up to those sort of rigours that we want him to show when he finally gets operational down the track, which would probably be, we're not looking for him to be a police dog for another 12, 14, 16 months even.
Right.
It just depends on how that development goes. And so there's a lot of development happening now, though.
What sort of thing will he be sniffing out? Is he like an attack dog? Not that we don't call them that, do we?
No, but
Or is he an airport dog?
no, definitely not. He's a tracking dog, so he'll be used on frontline policing for general purpose work, we call it. So that'll be tracking for criminals, effectively, and we'll train him to look for people. It could also be a search scenario for missing people. It could also be for subduing. We've just got to, the facts are that sometimes there are scenarios where we need the dog for siege scenarios, those types of things.
Yeah.
Right. Say if Clint's committed a crime,
here we
right?
go.
Believable hypothetical.
Yep.
I give you something of Clint's to sniff, like his hat, for example.
Is that what they do? Do they pick up the scent?
That's a bit of.
a myth.
There are dogs that do scent discriminate like that, and so that's probably a lot of what you see with bloodhounds and things like that.
Yes.
And no, it's about. We do know that they scent discriminate to a point, but it's about most recent human scent. So that is initial imprinting is about understanding human scent. So the dog will just basically scuff the ground. And once the dog indicates that, they get a little reward, and it develops from there in terms of to attract,
Now,
to indicating property.
Say if he sees Clint outside down the street,
Yep.
right? And you're like, that's our crim. Do you let him off the lead, and can he bring Clint down?
Well, hopefully that is never required, but look,
If I'm threatening
the
him.
realistic nature of the job is that we do have to train the dogs to do those types of things, yes.
And are they taught to, like, do they
Latch on.
bite or they just latch on?
To latch on and hold.
Oh,
Base hold.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So
Now,
is there,
German Shepherds are amazing because I had one growing up and it could jump over like a 6-metre fence.
Yeah.
They're quite... 6 metres seems a lot. Maybe not 6. Maybe like 2.5 metre fence. But they're pretty amazing, aren't they? They can
are
like
incredible,
climb.
and we do train them to do that. Now we also have other breeds, but probably the good thing about the German Shepherd is they're all rounder, so to speak. They track, they search, they bite, they do everything we want.
Yeah,
them
no
to do.
offence. I'm not scared about a beagle latching on.
No, but our Malinois, which are Belgian
Oh, yeah.
Shepherds, they are far more agile, and we've got a number of them at the moment. We've probably got up towards 10 at the moment. And they're becoming far more predominant now. They're used in the military, etc.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We've sort of moved into a number of those dogs. They're far more agile than the Shepherd.
Now, I'll tell you what, while we've got the cops here, 13 24 10, if you have any questions for the dog squad this morning, 13 24 10 to join us on the air. You were saying it could be 16 months till he's fully trained. If he passes, he then becomes a fully fledged police officer.
Yeah.
So any rules like us touching you, if we touch him, technically we've assaulted a police officer, correct?
I think
Well, it's like that with the horses too, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'd prefer. We're very risk averse with our dogs in terms of we really, if someone is approaching us, if they ask, more often than not, we'll say no because they're in working mode. But certainly, we want dogs that are really. They can be out there and we can comfortably walk them down the street.
Yeah.
They're not just going to latch onto somebody.
gotcha.
We've really got to look at temperament. Temperament's a massive part of what we're looking for in our
We were the
dogs.
same when building this show.
What, 3 dopey people? Put them all together and see what happens.
do you grow attached?
Oh, without question. I've had a number of dogs over the years, and there's no doubt about it. I'm not too proud to say that I've cried my eyes out over a couple of dogs that, once, because of that association you had. They're your partner, because we work by ourselves.
So do you get partnered up and then they're your dog?
They're your dog for life.
Like Turner and Hooch.
They live with us. They live with their families.
They come home with you?
Yeah.
So hang on, how long would they stay in the service for?
Generally speaking, I can hear him growling over there.
What's he found?
What's
Clink got on him?
He's biting Lockie's shoe
our
at
other
this
police
stage.
officer,
Just a bit of protein powder.
He's found the protein powder.
He's so cute.
They probably do, on average, around 8 years of service, I suppose.
And then they retire them. Do you keep them?
Absolutely.
So how many dogs you got at home?
Oh, I've only got the one at the moment, but I'm sort of I'm not chasing too many dogs these days, or behind too many dogs these days. I'm leaving it to the younger men. But,
Most cops keep the dogs.
oh, without question.
Oh, you would. You couldn't give it away.
We're 50 years old next year as a squad.
Wow.
And I'm yet to see one person who's never kept their dog.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Because you would spend so much time together. I love when you see those videos about the dogs retiring and they throw them a little farewell party. I saw one of the airport dogs the other day, did its last service, and they dropped from the escalators in the airport like 50 tennis balls, and the dogs
I
just
thought you
went,
were going to say 50
mad.
dogs.
No.
I was like, no,
I did
that's-
see that one, actually. That
It
was
was
really good, wasn't it?
cute.
And I brought in a thing just recently in the last couple of years that when they do retire, we frame up a photo and a plaque and that for the dog and the handler. And I think it's really important to really acknowledge them for what they've done. I mean, they've been in... we ask a lot of them, to be quite honest.
Absolutely.
All right, 13 24
My
10.
God.
If you have a question to probe the PoPo, there are so many calls coming through.
All right. Well,
How
we'll come
good.
back and take your calls on the other side of this.
We're joined by Senior Sergeant Mark Boyson from the Victoria Police Dog Squad with Puppy Riggs, who's a 12-week-old German Shepherd
And?
that's one day going to save the world.
Wondering why he got his name.
Earrings.
Yeah.
Clip any wrong wires?
No, I haven't done that for a couple of days, no.
Hey, next time, wait for the bomb
Bomb
squad.
squad,
Yeah,
that's
come on, it's our job.
Lauren, have you seen Lethal Weapon?
I have seen Lethal Weapon, believe it or not. I've also seen Police Academy.
Yeah. Okay.
Different?
Variations.
So is there a Tackleberry dog on the squad?
High tower.
I won't comment.
Hey,
Senior Sergeant Boyson just turned to me and said, I remember you.
oh God, where did you
And
two
I
cross paths?
stressed.
What music festival?
No. We ran into each other in at the World Cup. Soccer World Cup.
Yes, that's true. Russia, yeah.
Was he behaving himself?
He was very good, actually,
Thank
with his film
Thank
crew.
you,
Actually,
Mark.
The second you
Yeah.
introduced yourself as Senior Sergeant Mark Boyson, I bet he
like,
did
oh,
behave
I was just
himself.
buying a coffee at the time, and I think he was doing the same thing.
Hey, Mark, I just touched on music festivals there. What sort of dogs would you guys use to sniff out, like, firearms, narcotics, money?
Yeah, they're our Labradors. So we have 15 of those, and they're our detector dogs. They're really in high demand. So on any given day of the week, they'll be doing warrants on premises basically every day.
They've got a
and
good
also
nose on them, the labs. don't they?
fantastic.
This might be a stupid question.
If you're a dog, you'd be a Labrador, Jason.
Absolutely.
Would he though?
Could
Yeah.
sniff anything out, bit
He
dopey.
certainly wouldn't be a whippet.
No.
Oh, well, the pastries come out here in the kitchen, trust me. How do they know the scent? Like, have you got to get them around money and drugs and get them used to that
absolutely.
scent?
It's also odor recognition, and it's just repetition. So you introduce an odor to them, you can get them to find whatever it is, and you just keep introducing that odor, and once they give you that impression that they've understood it, they're rewarded, and it's compounding from there.
Yeah.
You continuously introduce that odor, have that odor present, and they're rewarded, and they understand it over time.
And firearms have an odor?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you've got quite
Gunpowder.
obviously it's
Powder.
the powder itself, quite obviously.
Yeah.
And also the cleaning, the oils and these types of things. Now, we're not specifically talking about the metal and the wood, etc., depending on the makeup of the actual firearm. It's all the other componentry around it and the odours that are associated with a firearm and if the firearm's been fired.
The dogs are gorgeous and they do an amazing job, but are they protected at all? Do they wear protective gear?
So our general purpose dogs, they will wear a vest that basically covers across the chest area.
Right.
It's actually a New Zealand development in the protection for the animal. So
That's good.
we do have the ability to put some panels into the sides of the vest. to give them added protection.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Good. That's good.
You can whistle because I can't. For silly people who go to music festivals and think about putting bad things up there, dogs can sniff it up there too.
They're pretty good.
There's just a waft about them, you know?
Dogs love sniffing butts at the dog park, so I'm sure they like it at music festivals.
Where's the strangest place you've found someone trying to hide something?
Oh, you might have hit on it, but
yeah, that is strange.
people will try all sorts of things. So you probably, I don't know, as far as your imagination can take it.
Nothing surprises you these days.
Hey, we have got many calls coming through because people love asking the police questions. Let's go to Phillip Island. Colleen, good morning. Do you have a question for Senior Sergeant Mark
guys.
Boyson?
Mark, I'm just wondering, do the dogs get to come home with you every day as part of the family, and then you work with them every day, and then when they retire, do they get to live with you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a really good part of that bond is that our handlers have these dogs from early phase, like is going on with Riggs at the moment, all the way through their career. And we're 50 years old as a squad next year. And we're really proud to say that there's not one dog in all that time that hasn't been retired to a family.
And do you can you train that out of them? Like, because they retire, they've got to sort of settle into a retirement life. Can you actually train?
What do you mean if you got a naughty uncle coming over?
Exactly.
You don't want
Christmas time, all things happen at Christmas.
And it's really hard for them because they're high drive dogs and all they want to do is get into that car and go to work.
Yeah.
And it is hard for some of them. Over time, they sort of wean themselves off it a bit, but you always see that glint in their eye when
Uncle
they
Barry,
hear the car keys
what do you got?
go or whatever.
Oh, they want to go to work.
They're all over my uncles. Yep, okay, all right. Let's
Jack from Geelong, good morning. Have you got a question?
Yes, I do. Good morning, everyone. So once you've finished your training, how long does it take to actually be someone that's sort of got the dogs? And what are some of the things that you would actually do to kind of get that sort of training?
So Riggs is an example. He's starting off now. It's more around the environmental, so making sure that he can stand up to the rigours of being basically exposed to anywhere we take him, noises and also, in dark areas, tight spaces, all those types of things.
He's doing a good job in the studio so far. He's peed once and done a poo on the carpet, so he's fitting into this environment.
Yes, he shamed himself, unfortunately.
Don't worry, it's not the first person to do it in the studio.
But no, we develop from there. So it's over time, we just continue to build up the disciplines that we want from him, and that's mainly for him to use his nose for tracking. And it's anything that's scent bearing after that. So it's all about finding discarded pieces of evidence. But also then we've got to obviously understand that the dog has courage. He's really got to show that as well. Right. So the dog can respond to a number of scenarios where the expectation is he's got to protect the handler and do his job. And that could be about to subduing somebody. There's a lot involved to understand that dog from 12 weeks of age, as Riggs is, we're not asking and putting him under a lot of pressure until he does hit at least 12, 14, 16 months. And that's why it takes so long, because you've got to really let the dog grow, so to speak.
How do you know when he's onto something? Like I've heard the dogs at the airport will sit next to the luggage.
And you know what? They're all different. They're all unique in the way they do it. But as a handler, you are looking for classic indications, and it's about
is it barking?
It's body language. There'll be no barking with these dogs. It's about head movement. It's about changing in his posture and the way he looks to you as a handler. Because we run off a long lead.
Yeah.
So we'd be 10, 15 metres behind the dog. He's in a harness and we're tracking along with a long lead, and we're casting him across an area to try and understand or see a change of behaviour.
Right. Well, that's why you have to know the dog so well,
Absolutely.
right?
And we
might borrow some of them for the kids at Westfield. When the kids run off at me at the shop.
15-metre lead.
Yeah, I've got a 15-metre lead. All right. Jackie in Geelong, just to wrap things up. Jack, what's your question for the PoPo?
It was just pretty much more like the training as the police officers, what you need to be doing to actually be a dog handler. Like, what do you go through once you finish the academy?
You go through the academy?
Yeah, absolutely.
General duties for what? 4 years, you were saying to me?
We want a minimum of that. And it's really just because we're going to ask them to work on their own, be out there be good decision makers. So they've got to have that really good background in policing and understanding of the role before we put them into this, because this is a completely different dynamic now. We're asking them to perform,
Lockie here's pretty fit. Have a look at him.
It is absolutely fascinating.
Isn't it?
Yeah. We love the Victorian Police.
We
Dog
do.
Squad
Thank
do an
you for
amazing
coming
job.
in this morning.
Mark, you've nailed it. Good job, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Good luck, Lockie, with your new pup that you've got on the way.
He's bloody adorable, isn't he?
And Riggs, you're so cute. Look at that floppy little
No, I
ear.
was talking about Riggs when I said he's adorable.
Oh.
Yeah, Lockie is too, but yeah, more the dog.
Gonna be a good day. Jason Lauren. Jason Lauren.
Wake up feeling good.
On Nova 100.
Jason Lauren.
Follow them on socials.